keep it real with ya.
Hey everybody, it's me, Minu, back with another video. I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try to start making this video, next few videos a bit shorter. So please bear with me on these cutoffs. But I'm aiming to make them a little bit shorter than I usually do. And I know that I'm very long-winded. So obviously if I'm having one topic, it's gonna be cut into multiple parts versus me trying to get everything out in 30 minutes. To an hour and then having two 30-minute videos. So bear with me as I be a little experimental with what we're doing here on the channel. Today I want to talk about the things that I've learned working with in a more international corporation versus the experiences that I've had with American only corporations. If you follow me for more than a year, you already know that I've had some pretty bad managers. I've had some managers who have made me feel like everything about me is just inherently wrong maybe because I'm autistic, maybe because I'm a black woman, maybe because of both, but I've had some really bad experiences and I'm having a better experience. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still stressed out. I have a lot of work to do and everybody depends on me, so I'm still stressed out, but it is better in terms of the culture. Not 100% perfect because I'm dealing with various international populations, but it's better. And I want to talk more about that dichotomy between, being a black neurodivergent woman in an American company versus being that same type of person in a more international company. Now, I know that usually you guys see videos where they're like, things I would never do as a black woman in corporate. I don't necessarily have beef with that in the sense that if you're in a traumatic situation, certain survival skills and coping skills will help you survive, especially if you can't leave. So there's a place for that, but that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is work in a corporate environment where I am accepted for who I am. So I don't have to hide my personality. I don't have to talk in a higher pitched voice. I don't have to smile more to make people feel comfortable working with me. And I don't have to tiptoe around the feelings of sensitive white people. So with that being said, I'm going to dive into one of the biggest things that I feel like I've learned about in terms of dealing with the different populations. And also too, this is kind of spurred by the fact that I've been talking to my coworkers about their previous jobs and my previous jobs and how it is. And like I said before, it isn't just about working with white people in general. Like I butt heads in all black companies as well, because again, I'm autistic. I'm not really gonna always fit in with everybody everywhere I go. But one of the things that I would say is the difference between working in an American corporation and an international corporation like the one I'm in now is American corporations, no matter what the demographic makeup is defined by white people. So most of the corporation is defined by white men. When you're talking about HR, like an area that I've worked in, is mostly defined by white women. So the rules are defined by white women. What is considered offensive, what is considered a compliance issue, is defined by what makes white women comfortable and what makes them uncomfortable. So even when I've worked in the office where majority of the people in there were black HR women, everything was still coded and defined by what makes white women comfortable. Meaning black women were wearing wigs as opposed to showing their natural hair. They dressed a certain way. They spoke a certain way. And here goes Sadie getting in the auto feeder again. I'm about to go get her. So yes, it's very white coded. They dress a certain way. They speak a certain way. Even if their boss is black, even if they have been doing this for a long time, they have certain expectations. And I've had black women give me a lot of unsolicited advice about how I need to do my hair and how I need to dress when I come into the office, because I never know who might be looking at me to see if they want to give me an opportunity. Say that? Opportunity. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to wear my tennis shoes. I wanted to wear my skull cardigan that you couldn't really tell that there was skulls on it, by the way. It just looked kind of like a black and white festive cardigan, but it had skulls in it. I wanted to wear that. I wanted to wear clothes that were comfortable. I don't want to wear a skirt. I don't want to wear flats. I don't want to wear heels. I don't want to have a suit outfit on. You know, everybody's going to be their absolute best self in mask and interviews, but once you get the job, you should not be expected to act like that all the time. Cuz you are human and things are going to bother you, or sometimes you're just going to be neutral and you're going to have a neutral face. And that doesn't mean that now you have to get a lecture about how you look when people are talking to you and the facial expressions you make. I should be able to wear my natural hair and not have people tell me that I should have a wig or that I can't have dreads or I can't have my afro or all of that extra stuff. I should be able to come as I am and be accepted as that because I do good work and I'm intelligent. And that should stand on its own. It shouldn't have anything to do with the way I look. And so in previous companies, that is the feedback that I would get. It would be like someone walks up on me in my cubicle and I turn around to face them and I take my earphones out because I'm in a loud office. And I turn around and face them. And then it's like, well, when you turn around to face people, you should have a big smile on your face so that they know, so that they don't feel like they're bothering you. But they are bothering me. They are bothering me because why are you walking up on me like that? You know? And I've had people walk up on me and stand over me as a way to intimidate me. So yeah, I'm not going to have a super big smile on my face and act like I'm excited to see you when you just said something wild to me in a Teams chat. And it's like stuff like that, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, even black women who have adapted to this way of working, always want to judge younger generations because we don't adapt to that. And rather than us working on how we can change that environment, especially from HR, right? Like these are the people who do culture. We could change that. We could put the effort into be accepting of different cultures and mindsets, but we don't. We just adapt to it and we move with that. Now, is that to say that you should, automatically think that your coworkers are your friends and you try? No, because I mean, that's in real life. Anybody could do you dirty. Sadie, anybody could take something you said to them in confidence and tell it to somebody else. You can't control once the words come out of your mouth, Once you send that email, you can't control who all's going to see it, really, because your company can see all your emails. So it's not to say that you should just walk in the room and trust people and try to be friends with everybody. But if you want to be friendly with people or if you want to hang out with them after work, that's okay. You can do that. And the thing about me that makes me feel comfortable to do stuff like that is ain't nothing I gotta say to you that you can't tell somebody else. Now we can have this conversation and you may not. But if you tell someone else that I said something, yeah, because I said what I said. I'm not afraid of the things that I say because I'm not lying or saying things to just please people. If I was doing that, then yes, I'd be scared for you to go tell someone else. But if someone were to say, hey, I was talking to Minu and she said that she was having this issue, Minu was having that issue. So when you come to me, I'm going to say, yes, I was. And I've always been that person. Even when in my family growing up, they are like, what happens in the house stays in the house. You can't tell everybody. If I told you and you told someone that I told you, I still said the same thing I said. And I'm not going to back down from the words that came out of my mouth because I am one of the biggest proponents of once it comes out of your mouth, you can't take it back. So if you said it, own up to that you said it, But the difference that I've learned in working in more international workspace, and so I've talked about, my current company is in the UK and I've gone to the UK to meet everybody, is that overarching influence of white women and white women's sensibilities and what makes white women and white men comfortable is not there. And it's weird, you would think it is because, Britain, aside from America, also one of the biggest colonialist powers in the world. And don't get me wrong, they do have those ideas about, oh, the way we do it here is great. It's better than everybody. But it's not that same sensibility. And I think that that's something that surprised me is that not only is it UK people, but it's even in the UK, it's international. So you have people from Central South America, you have people from Asia, you have people from Africa and the Middle East, and you automatically just have that mixture. You know what I mean? When I was in London, I couldn't go into a room in my office building and not run into someone from a non-white, non-British background. I was running into Koreans. I was running into Japanese people. I was running into Spanish people, Portuguese people, people from European countries that I didn't even think about, like Irish people. And because of that, the culture, there was less of this dominance of everybody needs to be like this. Everybody needs to fit into this. You know what I mean? Because people, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like a business casual environment. So you still, like, some people wear jeans, some people wear shirts. It was much more chill. There wasn't a expectation that everybody looks the same and acts the same. Some people, a lot of people actually that I met, were very direct people. They were very solution minded, and they really didn't have time to think about whether or not their feelings were hurt about something someone said a certain way. And so when I would speak, and I would speak clearly as I have always spoken, instead of it being received as, oh my God, Minu, she's so aggressive, she's so angry, she's so loud, it was like, yeah, Minu said this, we need to go and do it. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. No one cares about how your face looks when you're on the Zoom call, because everybody's face looks a certain way, because everybody's doing more than one job. Like, we're multitasking in sitting in a meeting. So everybody's face looks a certain way. Or some people, they're like doing it from their phone, and so it looks awkward. But at this job, I have not had anyone tell me, oh, Minu, your facial expressions. Oh, Minu, the tone of your voice. Oh, Minu, the way you said that may make people feel uncomfortable. I've not had any of that feedback. I've not even had, like, don't get me wrong, I've had disagreements with my coworkers, and we've annoyed each other and we've frustrated each other. But it's never been something where it's like, it's this huge issue. It's usually been like, okay, we're all frustrated and we're all heated and we're all stressed out. Let's take a break and come back and talk about it next week and stuff like that. And that's just what people say, and people acknowledge that. But I feel like in an American corporation, you don't get the benefit of being a frustrated, stressed out person. You have to come with this personality all the time, or someone's going to HR, or someone's going to your manager, you know. And as much as I've frustrated people at my job, because you're gonna frustrate, I mean, you're in HR, you're gonna make somebody mad. And I've accepted that as a fact of life. And as much as I've made people mad in high level positions, no one has gone to my manager and said, Minu's got an attitude problem. Minu talks to people wrong. Minu is so aggressive. No one has ever said that. They've come through and they've said, man, Minu really saved the day on this. Minu was super helpful. I love the fact that Minu's able to remain calm in these stressful situations, which really honestly is just my face. Like, my face don't change much. So I wasn't really calm, but my face made me look calm. And people said that that comforted them, and that made them feel like things were under control, and that they just had to listen to me and work together, and then we got it. But, at most, when I've made someone annoyed, they've just asked my manager if I could work later to help them with stuff. But everybody has been like, thank God Minu's here to help us, And when I make people upset, everybody's like, Minu, don't go nowhere. They can't do nothing to you because you are holding all of this together. And I think that coupled with the fact that I have a manager, lives in the UK, but she's from Australia, who has been so appreciative of the way that I act. Because she told me, she said, it really frustrates me how other people are so passive aggressive at work, and they say things without saying them. And you can't even get to the bottom of anything because they're just doing all this other stuff. But then, meaning, when you talk, you just say exactly what you mean. I don't have to guess anything. And I wish more people were like you and more people communicated the way you did, because then we could get more work done. And then we don't have to sit here and fight over, people's egos. And to have a manager like that who loves the way I speak is such a different thing. It's such a different thing, and it's so freeing, because not only does it give me the ability to do my job without worrying about how I come across to people, it has also given me the ability to be more of myself and to open up about the things that make me me. Talk about things that I like at work. Like, anime this, horror movie that, Japan this, Japanese that. And to be able to talk about these things and people just genuinely enjoy it. They were actually excited to see me dressed up in like the goth clothes that I tend to wear. But I didn't wear that because, you can be cute or you can be comfortable. And I choose comfort every time. But when you have people who are like, we're just about getting the work done, it's a completely different environment. And it makes me feel comfortable and confident in myself to come into work because I know that I'm not about to have some bullshit argument about tone, you know, because I've had this in the past where people misread the tone of my text messages. They misunderstand the tone of the way I'm speaking because they already have these preconceived biases about, my skin color and what that means when I say things. But I feel like when you work in a more international environment, it's harder for people to hold on to those biases because you got to have bias about every single race and ethnicity and language and then hold all of that in your heart and then just be angry all the time. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, there are white supremacists in Britain as well. But I feel like in the corporate world, it's still so black and white. Whereas if it was a more international environment, you can't possibly have a bias against every single person that you pull out every time someone works with you. Nobody will want to work with you. If someone comes in and they have all of this stuff to say about how people act and how people talk, guess what they get called at my job? Sensitive. Literally. Like if you have somebody who comes in and they're just like, oh, well, your tone is like this and your face is like that. And they're doing all of that stuff and they're offended about everything. And they can't even talk about work because they're busy talking about everybody's personalities and gossiping and all of that. You just get called sensitive or whatever the British equivalent of messy is. And then people don't want to work with you because you're doing too much. Yes, ma'am. I guess that's Morticia's way of saying that I need to cut the video here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I would say that is one of the biggest things is that you feel less of the influence of whatever is white supremacy, but it's also like white woman supremacy in the corporate world when you have a more international environment, meaning that the people at the top are international as well. It's more diverse than if you were just like everybody at the top is white and then they hire some Indians here and there, but it's mostly white people. And then every now and then they get a black person and they just lump them in with the Indians and, treat them a certain way. It's harder to do that when your company is as diverse as these international companies are. Anyway, I'm going to end this here. Again, trying to make the video shorter. Thank you guys so much for listening. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. Eat your food, drink your drinks, take your naps. No one can live in this body but you, so you have to take care of it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.